Hi everyone, we're back with our next part of our coordinate geometry videos on the multiple choice, CSEC multiple choice questions. So let's look at this question here. It says items 26 to 28 refer to the graph below. So here we have a graph is a triangle with points A, B, and C. Let's look at 26 first. The coordinates of the point A. Now remember, coordinates, let's do 26 up here, right? Coordinates are the x, y values, right? So let's look at where A is. A is right here, right? What is the x value? If this is A right here, come down and find your x value, which is 1. And again, let's locate where A is and go across to to meet the y-axis, and that's my y value, 3. So my coordinates is 1, 3, which is option D here, right? Alright, so now let's just go on to number 27. The gradient of AB. Now, remember, there are two ways we can do the gradient, right? So let's just box off 26 here, right? Or we could probably do the gradient, we could do the gradient right here. So remember, gradient is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. I want to find the gradient of AB. What are the coordinates of A? We just learned that, which is 1, 3. Then let's look at B. B is right over here on the x-axis. The value of the x value is 3. And because it's on the x-axis, the value of the y is, if we go across, is 0. Right? So you could use the formula. Remember, this would be x1, y1, x2, y2, right? So then we will get 3 take away 0. So remember, is y1 take away y2 over x1, 1 take away x2, which is 3. And you are going to get 3 minus 0 is 3. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. My answer is 3 over minus 2, right? Or you can actually, I would have mentioned this in some video. Doesn't matter where you put your minus sign, to be honest. It makes the whole number negative anyway. So my answer will be A. Now the other way we could have well, okay, let's just keep it as a switch, right? Know your formula. y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Now let's look at number 28. Number 28 here, the equation of the line CB. What is the equation of the line CB? If you realize, line CB is a horizontal line and it's on the x-axis. Now, what do you think that will be, right? It's on the x-axis. Let's look at C, right? What is the value of C? At C is, the value is 1, the x value is 1. And at B, the x value is 3. But at both points, the value of y is what? 0. So it will actually be y equals 0. Right? Pretty simple. For this question here, it says the straight line AB cuts the y-axis at. Now, here we have your straight line AB. Again, you need to know what your y-axis is. Your y-axis is up here, the vertical line. Here's the x-axis, the horizontal line. So the straight line cuts the y-axis at where? At this part here where it passes through -2. But they want to know the coordinates. You see how they have x and y values here? Remember, your first number is your x and the second is your y. Now, we know our y value is -2, right? So that already narrows it down and tells us A is not the answer and B is not the answer because my y value has to be -2. Now, we need to know if our x value is 3 or 0. Now, if you look at A here, right? A passing through, that line, passes through the point A, which is on the y-axis, right? So my y value is -2. But what is my x value? We have no x value here. Therefore, my x value is 0. So it will be 0, -2, x, y, right? So just for future reference, if I have my y and x axis and I have a point passing through, let's say here, right? And let's say passing through 7. So where the line cuts the y-axis is at 7, right? So what will be the coordinates where it cuts the y-axis? So cuts y-axis at, my y value is 7, but my x value will be 0, right? Right, good. Which of the following points lies on the line y equals 2x minus 3? Again, we need to remember it's always the x value first when we have our coordinates, then y values, right? So let's look at option A first. We could do A in the corner up here. So A, we are saying that my x value is 2 and my y value is 3. So using my equation, let's substitute those values and see if everything works out. So my y value is 3, whereas the x I'm going to put 2, right? So let's see if I'm going to get so 3 equals, we're supposed to get 3 on this side, right? So 4 minus 3, you're going to get 3 is 1, and that is not equal, so there's no working out. Let's try it for B. Negative 2, negative 1. Again, x value then y value. So right over the equation we have. So you see my y value here is negative 1 and my x is negative 2. So let's put in that. So negative 1. 2 by negative 2 is negative 4 minus 3. We're going to get negative 1, but we have one here, but they're not equal to each other. So it's not B. So let's go at C. 4, 1. 4 is my x value, 1 is my y value. Right over the equation, my y value is 1. 2 by 4, x is 4 minus 3. 1 equals 8. 2 by 4 is 8 minus 3. 1 is equal to 5. This is not equal, so it's not a C now. And let's try it for D now. Well, it didn't work out for A, B, and C, so it had to be D, right? So this is my x value, y value. So again, write the equation. So my y value is negative 3. My x value is 0. So negative 3. 2 by 0, anything by 0 is 0. Minus 3. 3 equals minus 3, remainder minus 3. So you see how they are equal on both sides. So which of the following points lies on that line? The answer will be D. Right? Cool. Alright. The equation of the line which passes through the point 0, 5 and has a gradient of 4 is, now remember when we did these questions just now, right? And I would have said, alright, let's say use the 0, 5, right? So 0, 5 is where x is 0, y is 5. So that's somewhere here, right? So the line, the equation of the line which passes through. So the line passing through 0, 5. Okay, that's supposed to be a straight line, right? My bad. So basically my line cuts the y-axis, right? So remember this, what is the general equation for a straight line? You all remember that? Y equals mx plus c. What is m again? M is the gradient. And c is what? The y-intercept. But what is the y-intercept again? The y-intercept is where the straight line cuts the y-axis. So in this case, my gradient is m and my c is 5. So y equals mx plus c. My gradient is 4. So 4x plus 5. And that is my equation. You see how simple that was? So once you see they have 0, 5, you make a sketch if you want to. But once you see 0, the x value is 0 and you have that y number alone, that is the y-intercept, right? But you can make the sketch like how I did it there, right? So as you can see, the straight line passes through the x-axis, the y-axis here, sorry. Alright, these two questions are the same exact thing, just wording was slightly different. I'll go through this wording of the two. A line of gradient, a third. So we know m is equal to a third, right away. Passes through the point 0, comma 2. Remember I told you when you have the 0 for x and a number for 2, that is your y-intercept. But we'll go through it again. So your c is 2. And the equation of the line is, so again, general equation is y equals mx plus c. If I had to make a little sketch, 0, negative 2 will be somewhere here. So your line passing through somewhere like that, right? So it cuts in the y-axis here. So my y-intercept is 2, right? And my gradient is a third, right? And that's the answer, which is B. Again, on the right-hand side, the same thing. Let's word it a little bit differently. The equation of a line which passes through the point 0, 2 has gradient of that. Same exact question, different wording, right? But you see how this question here, well, these two questions obviously came in two separate years, right? Just wording was a little bit different. And the question we looked at previously where we had the gradient as 4 and pass through the point 0.5. These questions are the same thing, they just change up the numbers, right? So please take advantage of doing these questions. I keep on telling you this over and over, CXC. You'll see a lot of questions repeating, or the wording changes a little bit, or the numbers may change slightly, right? Alright, so which of the following pairs of lines is perpendicular? Now, first of all, let's find the gradient of each line, right? So I'm going to do A up here, right? So A, let's look at the first equation. 2y equals minus 3x minus 8. Remember, general equation is y equals mx plus c, right? So carry across that 2. Remember we did it from the previous videos? So you get 3x minus 8 all over 2. So that's minus 3 over 2x minus 8. So my gradient is minus 3 over 2. Let's just highlight that there, right? My second equation for A was 3x minus 2y is equal to minus 8. So let's carry across everything. So plus 3 become minus 3x minus 8. Then y is equal to minus 3x minus 8 or minus 2. We could break it up, minus 3 over 2 over minus 2x. And then minus 8 minus 2. So this is really your negative sign, so cancel 3 over 2x plus 8 over 2, right? So this is my gradient here, right? Now, I'll just do it here for B, right? B, my gradient is 2, and my gradient here is 2 as well, right? I should note parallel lines. Same gradient. Once you have same gradient, it's a parallel line. So that's outer, it's not perpendicular. For perpendicular, just so we could move quickly with that, is that perpendicular line, for example, if m is 2, the perpendicular gradient would be negative, the reciprocal, negative, and you flip the number, right? So if I had, the gradient was 3 over 5, my perpendicular gradient would be, change the sign, 3, negative 5 over 3. But let's do one more. If my gradient was negative 5, my perpendicular gradient would be positive 1 over 5, right? Alright, so let's go. So you see for A, it didn't change, the sign did not change. Well, the sign did change, but it didn't flip. So A is not the answer. Let's do for C now, right? So for C, first the gradient, y equals minus 4x plus 10. This is my gradient, cool. Next equation, 4y equals x plus 1. So y is equal to x plus 1 divided by 4. Y is equal to x over 4 plus 1. So my gradient is what? 1 over 4. So you see how the sign change? And we flip it. So right, this is actually perpendicular, right? One gradient was negative 4, right? And the perpendicular gradient was a quarter. right? Cool.